All right, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extremers Shenzhen qualifiers here for the Europe region as we now get into our semi-final in the upper bracket.
Yes, it is right. Yeah. So far, Happy and MMA will be playing against each other. Happy's beat 4GG already, and then went on to beat Zeth, the player that beat MC, very surprisingly, and now will face off against MMA, who have actually followed all the way so far, Targa and then Wellmo. So now it's a collision of two really good Terran players, and I'm quite excited for this one. Happy's a player who, for me, always does well online. And then, of course, you got MMA, who's a two-time WCS finalist. We are starting to see players get eliminated already. We've seen Slivko being eliminated in the lower bracket as the first player to drop out. So from 16 to 15 now, and they will start to drop from here on out to the top two.
Yes, they will. And it's unfortunate for Slivko, a guy that almost made his name, I would say, on Intel Extreme Masters, really. Like, think back him at Singapore and Kiev and places. But anyway, into this game now. One of these guys advances onto the winners final where they get the chance to be one of the players onto Shenzhen, as we now have up to the top left-hand corner our red Terran. It's Empire Happy. And down to the south as our blue Terran, it's Acer MMA. Been following this guy. Stalkers.
Yeah, we have. We've been following MMA all the way so far, and it would be really awesome to see him actually play in China, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a bit of cushion. I mean, both players do have quite a bit of cushion in this tournament now, being so close. They win this one, they're just one series away. Well, at the moment, 2 series away, but if they win this one, just 1 series away from actually getting the first spot to the first stop in the Intel Extreme Masters this season. So, yeah, that's a big, big opportunity.
Yeah, and it's even better for them if whoever goes to the final, even if they lose there, the next series is then another chance to qualify, right? So it's, if you win this one, you get basically 2 chances to qualify direct, which is very, very nice. So you've got a good shot if you win this one, a very good shot.
And well, let's hopefully get some Terran representation in Season 9 of the Intel Extreme Masters. Had very few, didn't we, last season?
Yeah.
Hero winning multiple tournaments.
I hope we see more Hero again,
The last 4 Intel Extreme Masters were won by all 4 Protoss.
Yeah.
SOS, World Championship, of course, and the 2 Heroes. All right, so we have a guess first out already by Happy. And this is the exact build so far that knocked MMA out of the WCS. So he's got to be very, very careful here against this. He is going to scout it later on. His build is, I mean, it's okay against gas first, but he really needs to see it and doesn't want to be spread too thin. Ideally, against this, you should have your command center, your second base, inside the main, and really just defend from 1 base instead of 2, where you're not so spread.
Yeah, it's just straight up to the factory very fast here from Happy. It's like at the discount of not having your orbital command as fast as MMA does, so his route is more economical in that sense, but
yeah,
you've still got to ward yourself against the aggression, and Happy's always been pretty good with his control.
Yeah, and MMA is going to put his command center in the main base upon seeing this, so that's a good little bit of adaptation from him against this aggressive build coming out from Happy. And, ooh, actually, Starport didn't get spotted there. Nice position.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Marine Hellion drop. Ideally, what MMA wants versus this is not a lot of Marines. He may be able to squeeze out 2. Well, he should be squeezing out 2 Marines here, or maybe 4, depending on how close the factory finishes to the barracks, building the Marines. But a lot of Hellions is going to be ideal. A lot of Hellions, as fast as possible.
I think in the end that starport position is fantastic, because even if MMA later on was like, right, well, I'm going to scan and try and reveal things, you don't actually scan over there ever.
Yeah.
So, that's quite good for him. I mean, he can anticipate what's coming. He did see that it was a gas first, right? So
first Hellion already takes a lot of damage.
Yeah. Bit risky there.
So 6 Marines, and then he should be switching over with his factory now to start building Hellions. And so far, this has been an okay defense, because that was a lot of damage dealt by the initial set of Marines to that Hellion. And the medevac's only just now on its way.
All right, Happy. We're going to see how well you can do this. He actually comes back with the Hellion in its entirety to repair.
He doesn't know what MMA's doing because he didn't scout, so he's actually building an engineering bay and probably turrets in case there are Banshees. He doesn't know. But in reality, MMA's got all this information, and he should be able to stop this. I don't see this working for Happy, unfortunately, which means that MMA would take a significant economy advantage. and find himself in a decent spot.
This SCV is poking around at the front for him, and this is good control just to try and spot exactly where his opponent is. He does lose it in the end, but he actually poked forwards before and saw it and could have pulled back. But anyway.
Uh-oh. Dark area. MMA went up there.
Yeah, just a second ago.
Oh, this is not good. And now he spots it with an SCV, but a little bit too late. Yeah,
Still good scouting.
Could have stopped that from being unloaded.
Hellions now straight on into the main to deal with this. A few SCVs there to try and buffer against all of this. Marines crossing the T and coming in from the right-hand side should be able to push this back.
Yeah. And he does. But does lose 5 SCVs there. But look, no command center for Happy, only just been built. Which definitely gives MMA an edge. Even though he's behind in 3 SCVs, he's got a better economy.
Yeah, and this is all whilst MMA's command center was in place and ready to go at that natural, right? With also the double orbital command, so extra mules if he wants them.
Yeah, it's time to start increasing that. Oh, actually, Happy coming around from this right-hand side's nice. Ooh, 6 SCVs now.
That's nice.
But it's time to start to think about increasing your air, because we all know, as in recent times, it's quite important to have a lot of Vikings at the early stages because of possible tank pushes, and you want to be able to control that sky and control the tanks.
Yes, you do, and that's why Happy is going straight into those Vikings. He already has 1 out, adding on a second one as well. MMA being a little bit lackluster in that regard. 3rd command center.
He is playing...
Jeez.
Likes his money today.
Yeah, he does.
Nice SCV kill again.
I won so much money, I'm going to use it in game. But, oh well. What was that shooting just then? Anyway, whatever. Happy now, he actually, with the tanks he has, how many tanks does he have? He
just
has
1.
Oh, okay.
About to be 2. But he doesn't have enough to put any pressure onto MMA. And MMA's in a very good spot. 3 command centers, equal or very similar amounts of units to what Happy has. If not identical. Actually, he has 3 more Hellions, so he actually has more than what Happy has. So, and it's a very good spot. And it was overall a good defense against the first little push there from Happy.
Yep. Just looking to claim his natural now, and he does. There's not much MMA is doing at this point other than macroing up, but he is going to extend a little bit of a lead into this mid-game, which is a nice start for him. There's a scan revealing that command center has only really just landed, and MMA now knows exactly the position he's in this game.
And a beautiful position that is.
It's yummy. All right. Well, missile turret's being added on for Happy. Just covering his mineral line still against a threat that isn't even there, really, from MMA. So it's a little bit of a costly investment, really. Ooh, bit of a drop. Nice attempt with the Hellions. And it's going to push away a few of these SCVs, but aside from that, not much.
Anything to gain here. Trading off, units for workers is a beautiful position considering you've got 3 command centers. So everything going in favor of the Korean now on his search towards qualification to the Intellect Stream Masters startup event, Season 9 here. And even his infrastructure is good. The one thing he doesn't have is stim and so on. But that I don't think is too much of a problem here. Viking count could be a problem. 4 Vikings to 2, but there are about to be 4 for MMA as well.
And 4 tanks to 2 as well.
Yeah. This siege up here by Happy is nice, but he's not really getting anything done with this, really.
Yeah.
But he's going to try to siege up 2 here. That's something better than the 2 on the low ground. Yeah,
it's not a bad attempt at all. Really needs to win this Viking war, though. He has 2-1, but the Marines now are underneath those Vikings and are going to gun those down anyway. He actually needs to go straight for the tanks themselves.
Yeah, he does get them.
Yeah.
Good defense by MMA. Loses a couple of SCVs, but overall good defense.
And he still could have lost those, right? I mean, but Happy can't afford losing those Vikings.
No, not at all. And now he's lost his presence, really, outside MMA's base.
Yeah.
He starts his 3rd command center, but it is quite a way behind, and MMA extends his lead 20 supply. And soon he's going to have stim, combat shields, medivacs, and +1 attack. And when that completes, especially because they're playing the same style to each other and the same strategy pretty much, I mean, he's going to be in trouble. He's simply going to have more units out and better upgraded and better. MMA
is playing a better game in the end. This moment in time, which is nice for him. Combat shields finishing up, as you mentioned before, with those tanks now just holding good, strong presence on the map. All right, his natural. And even a drop on this left-hand side for MMA. Any worker he can get is a nice pickup. Doesn't really get a whole lot, though, and gets round out there.
All right, so from this point on, I would imagine that MMA picks up his third command center and starts to take that as he's about to take full control of the map. With multiple tanks and multiple barracks and multiple units, it is time to start to spread those wings and fly like an eagle.
All right.
It's true, though.
Welcome back, Tim, as well.
That's the thing he should be doing now, and starting to put that pressure on. As you can see, Happy's building turrets in multiple locations because he knows that this is the position where MMA is in charge. Full control by MMA.
Full control, absolutely. He is so well set up. I mean, what can Happy do from here?
Sit tight.
Sit tight and just
weather the storm and look for a potential mistake from your opponent. Otherwise, there's not much else to do. This is a wonderful position for MMA. If you look at the numbers alone, it's equal, but then with all the upgrades missing, is massive. Absolutely massive. No stim, no combat shields, no +1.
What's he even doing behind this? Because without stim, surely then he's just going to get run over any time he wants.
Yeah, so he has to sit. I mean, he's going to attempt to take his third, but it's not going to be easy to take this third. He's going to try anyway, because obviously the later he takes his own third compared to MMA, the harder the game will become anyway.
Yeah.
But that could actually just get gunned down before it even is able to fly away, if he's not careful here. I mean, MMA sends a Marine to see the third, and if I was MMA, I would start to get ready to take a fight.
Yep. It's his army's looking good. Very good. 76 army supply to 72, but it's those upgrades that are the big difference maker.
Yeah, it's just MMA doesn't really know without the... I mean, is this guy without stim or something?
Yeah. Well, it's finished up now, at least, this sim, I think. So, I mean, at least for now, Happy has that in his back pocket. Drops a scan in the middle of the map, sees those two siege tanks, as well as a few Marines. And
Ooh, full medivac drop, but he's going to go into trouble if he tries this. This is really nice, and this is actually something that every Terran player does as they take a third, because that naturally their army goes outside to their third. They bunker up inside their main and all these turrets, and he should not break through. He can't break through this. It's not that he shouldn't, it's that he can't, and MMA knows this, and is going to move out aggressively, knowing that half of his opponent's army is in the air.
Yep.
And he can't break it. Oh, he could get position on his third. That's different. I thought he'd drop inside the main, but he could siege up on the third.
Yeah, at least he knows it's here.
Yeah, MMA was expecting him to go to the main, not here.
Yeah. This is a good move by Happy to try and counteract the balance in this game. Killing off a command center wouldn't be too bad, but it gets repaired, so it's okay. And the siege tanks, an entire army flood on back, and oh dear me. Was that worth it, Sean?
No.
No.
He needed to take a lead in the economy with that, not equalize it, and so no. If he'd gotten a lead with the economy, if he destroyed more than enough SCVs, then yes. But he's in trouble to hold his own third now in the counter, because he lost quite a few of those tanks and units.
So I guess from here on out, Happy just sets up like a siege line and tries to hold on.
Yeah, he's very weak at the north of his third, which the turret, the sensor tower does help give vision if MMA was to try to sneak around there. But that's where he's most weak. If MMA sieges up around that point and takes that high ground advantage, just right of Happy's third, there's no way that he's going to really stop that.
Two Marines still situated down to this left-hand side, and MMA's entire force is actually moving down here, so...
This is not a weak area, though, so...
No.
I mean, he scans, sees it. It's not a weak area, so he can't attack into that. The weak area is still above Happy's third. Just can MMA get around to it?
Exactly. It takes a while in these spawning positions, right? And that's kind of what Happy's banking on. As for now, 2-2 has started here for Happy, but MMA's is already well underway. So again, MMA's going to have a bit of a time in there if he realizes it, which is nice for him. Where's this scan? Okay, just scans everywhere.
Yep, just looking for that position. I think he sees, with that scan, he sees the north of that third is weak.
Yeah.
But again, Happy covers the front wall. And no other movement. He's going to go around the long way, maybe. No, but there is a Marine that spots his movement and the medevac there too. Both players, well, not so much both players, but MMA looking for holes. Whereas Happy is just deflecting them at the time being. And if he attacks into the front wall, then he will die. There's no doubt, even with his lead.
Yeah. I mean, it's a strong army, but is it enough really to kind of push through that.
Happy goes left. The right flank is open again. He does come back with a couple of his units.
He's actually going to go. He is actually going to go into this. Okay, this is a big attempt here. Sieging up everything, trying to bring down those Marines as fast as he can do. He trades off Marine for Marine, and he sets up a good siege line to contain, but it's not going to break through the siege line of Happy just yet.
If he was to pick up units and get to that north position, but look at the supply difference. He may be able to break this if he just
goes.
Yeah.
Separate up more units and go.
Oh, he's losing a lot though. It's very hard to break a siege tank line like this.
Yeah, he actually was wanting to go forwards, but Happy kind of pushed forwards his Marines to shoo it away for a second there. That was a good move by Happy.
And the Vikings are giving him vision. Oh, he unsieges. Is he going to go again? He's 2-2's completed, and Happy's isn't, so this is an opportunity.
Constant Scans Marines trying to get right on top of these siege tanks if they can. They're going to shred them down very, very fast. He actually sieged up once again with all the tanks at the back. He's trading off, and he's succeeding.
He broke through.
Very nice. And that's just pure macro with the 2-2 as well.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, well, MMA takes a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 here. So
I didn't think he'd be able to break through that front door, but he did. That was nice.
Yeah.
A lot of units.
It was good. Okay, so again, MMA seems kind of like a different MMA to what we saw in WCS in that group. Today he's playing really well.
The pressure of being a finalist.
Yeah.
And now he's, not a finalist. He's out in the round of 32, and now he's performing well. But, at least he's performing in an important tournament rather than just ladder or something.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, with that, if he actually goes through Targa, Wellmoot, then Happy, up in this upper bracket, all 3 matchups, I'm not sure who's really going to stop MMA if he keeps going.
I don't know either.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Overgrowth is our map for game number 2. And unless Happy changes something up.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the bracket, maybe. We could take a look at it if you want to have a look at who potentially could play. Just loaded it up now. So this is where we are currently in the semifinals as this next game's getting set up. First and Bunny is about to play, and I think Patience and Jack G is currently playing. We've lost 4GG already.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, at least he's got WCS.
Well, MC
for one more
carries
round.
his fight on there. I guess that kind of shows the champion of WCS versus the guy who's finally broke back into the round of 16 looking to do well, but not quite enough to beat the champion. So 4GG still has work to do. So we've lost our second player now, Slivko, and then 4GG. Wow.
It's a pretty stacked bracket considering those are the 2 people to go out first.
Yeah, very, very stacked bracket here. Yeah, so a pretty good bracket overall there. You can check it out. But we're in that semi-final at the top there, looking for our winner's final player between the both of them. Time for the next game, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Just seeing if these guys are ready, and then we'll get right on in. Again, Happy is looking a little bit on the ropes.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing against a world-class player at the end of the day.
Yep.
Some days bad days, some days good days, but at the end of the day, MMA is world-class. I think 2-0.
Yeah? I think so as well. There we go. Good job, Sean.
I don't know who could challenge MMA at the moment. He's playing really well. Even though he's winning 2-1, he is playing quite well today. But that's interesting, isn't it? To think that lower bracket, to think who is down there. And there's only one player from the lower bracket to advance.
Yeah.
That's kind of mental to think about it. MC's down there, but everyone else could die.
And it might even still be both of these players. It might still be both of them. Because, again, another one will get another shot down in that lower bracket. But down to the bottom left, it is Empire Happy as our red Terran. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Terran. It's Acer MMA.
I mean, without the players that could drop down, you've got Wellmu, Targa, Yoda, Soke, Cass, and Snoot, but only one of them can advance. It's brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. And I can't believe, actually, I can believe it. First is very good right now, and I'm quite happy with his victory over Snoot there. I know he's very good against Swarm Host play.
What was it, 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1.
All right.
That would have been an awesome series, too.
Well, First is, one of my picks for WCS Europe at the moment. He is one of my favorite Protosses, so if he does well, then no complaining here. No complaining.
I think he can do very well this season in WCS, but he may also get to an Extreme Masters tournament, too.
Which is extra points on WCS ranks.
Yes, it is.
You do. And I think we're at the point now where after the next 2 or 3 tournaments, there have been more WCS tournaments this year than there was last year, which is pretty crazy, to be honest with you. And then also, points are racking up very quickly as well. People like MC, for example, on 3,000 some. That was like how you actually had to qualify. That's the amount of points you needed to qualify for last year's BlizzCon. And we're only halfway through.
I know. It's meant. There's actually, I think I was looking at it. There's more tournaments this year than there are last year that feed into WCS.
Yeah, tons more. Well, there will be tons more in the end. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. WCS has kind of rounded out very nicely this year, I would say. So SCV is just going to head on in over here into Happy's base. Unfortunately for Happy, his SCV got locked out, so not great.
Yeah, you like to know what gas type it is. I mean, he knows it's not gas first, but is it gas at all?
Yeah. And, ooh, this SCV almost got killed off. So, all right. SCV's just going to run away into the middle of the field for now. Whilst that Marine's actually pursuing that one, but it does not get the right course of action. And there's even expansion going down on spot for Happy.
Yeah. This is a little bit greedier, especially because he doesn't really know what he's playing against exactly.
Cheeky guy. But MMA is going to go for his command center as well.
Yeah,
so.
he's going to throw it in the main base. So MMA is playing just a little bit more cautious because likewise he doesn't really know what's up either. But Cappy gets the better end of the deal.
Yep. It's not too bad. We watched. Was it our last group of WCS that had all the great TVTs in it, or was it second last? Yeah. It's a little bit of a shame that we're not really going to have too much TVT in the round of 16.
Yeah,
it's a good matchup.
A really fun matchup. Only 2 Terrans made it, so.
Yeah.
All right, so from this position on, we'll probably end up seeing both players scan because they still don't really know what they're playing against properly. And it's going to kind of move on to a normal game because neither of them's being aggressive. They both have the same units, roughly, and they're both very similar overall with their builds, apart from Happy just with this command center down here, and just a little bit faster.
Mining away.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes into a very regular game. You could see someone branch away to a Banshee here, but both players should be scanning unless they're looking to I don't care kind of mode. And so they should be looking to find out what's on. It'll be the next energy from the command center.
All right, so second gas is going to go down for MMA.
Yeah, MMA is going to try a drop, Widowmine drop. 2 Widowmines and a bunch of Marines anyway. Whether he doesn't, maybe he won't scan because he's already chosen what he's going to do, so he's not really reacting. Happy seems like the player who's more set up to react, and Happy's going to play mech. He's got his barracks in the wall, obviously he's a part of a wall off, so he'll start to take his gases soon to be able to afford his mech.
We love seeing some mech in this matchup, that's for sure. Those 2 Widowmines just trundling along across the field now. To join up with the bio.
Yeah, this could be a nice drop. Is Happy going to scan in the second tier to find out what he's playing against? He's got 50 energy. Is he mule? Yeah, he mules. Oh, all right. This guy doesn't care.
No, seemingly.
So this can attack by surprise. Like this could catch him by surprise. Because if he had scanned, he could have seen the starport without the add-on, and could have seen the potential of this drop coming. But right now, he has no idea if this is Banshee, if it's a drop or what. He's got Hinds inside the main base and the Viking there, so...
At least he's waiting for something.
Yeah, but there's nothing coming, so... I mean, he could have seen the potential drop, but...
Ooh, delayed Banshee from MMA, so... Oh, actually going to go for the Raven, even. All right. So, you know, I guess considering he hasn't seen anything himself, it kind of would make sense. But likewise, Happy's also going for Raven because nobody knows anything.
No, it's mech versus mech, and a very defensively set up picture from both. There's a scan from MMA to Happy, and MMA spots the third and Hellions and the barracks in the wall, so he kind of knows he's playing against mech.
Wow, so takes third on spot.
Yeah. And that's not scouted, but one thing you can note from that scan is that he sees another factory and sees no gases. So when you see another factory, you know obviously he's playing mech, but with no gases down yet, he's probably also got a third as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Happy pick up his third immediately and put it down.
Yeah, the old switcheroo for Happy, who looks to start cranking out Vikings very, very fast off the back of this. So 2 Vikings in production at any time is going to seize the control of the skies, which is always a good spot in these kind of fights.
Both players need to look at Blue Flame, I think, soon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different types of attacks from Hellions that can just burst through minimal tank counts. So it's always good to have a high high Hellion count. And also remember, once the armory is complete, you can switch them over to Hellbats anyway, so it's not like you're discrediting your future army. But both players are very similar at the moment in terms of their setup. 2 factory, 3rd base, and armory for MMA. And then if we look over in Happy's base, later 2nd factory and 3rd without the armory. So MMA just a little bit in the lead. Just by a little bit here.
And that scan revealed just the addition, really, of another factory. So maybe you can anticipate, you know, what progress his opponent is in terms of the infrastructure. But likewise now, he's just swapping all of his buildings around, adding on his 3rd factory as well, needing to climb up in that count whilst he's trying to power off this 3rd base.
If MMA takes his gases quite fast in his 3rd, he extends his lead again and gets that advantage. And you can see in terms of the other side of the map, MMA slows down his opponent's 3rd. So naturally, he is starting to take a bit of a lead. He can get an earlier +1 attack as well. And it's that equal where it's very difficult for either of them to attack each other.
Yeah.
Because the army supply and the worker supply is so similar. So the defender is always going to be set up better for reinforcements and also position.
So both of them are just like, why bother?
Yeah, why bother attack? And they'll just continue to add on additional factories, increase the economy. We might even see a 4th command center come out for both of them soon, especially in mech versus mech like this.
Oh, poor little Hellion got killed off by Widowmine.
Where is the armory? Okay, late for Happy.
For Happy? Yeah,
but
very
he has
late.
more factories faster. He's at 5, I think. MMA's still at 3 because he didn't get the armory. So the big difference between the both of them is going to start to take shape. Is the army of Happy, with all the supply depots he's already built, is going to climb faster. Which means that there is opportunities for him to be the aggressive one towards MMA's 3rd. MMA, as long as he can balance not dying to any attack, is better up because he's got the better upgrades sooner.
Ooh.
Trap, trap, trap.
Yeah, he lured him out of position with that, and that was actually a fantastic move there by MMA.
And that slows down the advantage Happy has with 5 factories to 3, by the way. Wow.
Okay, that was a really cool trap. So, punishing that very well. Drops a scan, sees the army moving out here of MMA. Happy, he's got to lock down at his natural, 3rd base, but he has the siege tanks there, so he should be okay.
And the player with 5 factories versus the player with 3 has less supply. You know something's not quite working properly here. +1 attack about to finish, and there's the transformation, and he's going to bust this.
Yeah, he's PDDs though. Both throw down the PDDs. Very, very equal Viking counts, probably in favor of Happy here though. The Hellbats as well as the Marines in this army, just going to power on through.
Really good attack from MMA. Absolutely beautiful attack.
Oh dear, yeah. This is a little bit of a catastrophe here for Happy, who doesn't have any control here whatsoever. The Hellions just trying to reinforce. This one tank is going to have to hold on strong.
All reinforcements from MMA should be locking this position up. If he locks this position up, he furthers his economy by so much. Because Happy is not mining properly. This is a very good attack from MMA. And it's all the little things that have led him to this point. The faster 3rd, the faster gases, the catch of the Hellions in the middle.
At least now, though, Happy has the Viking advantage, right? So he can try and eke forwards with his siege tanks.
But MMA will keep using scans. Every time he gets closer, he'll scan.
Exactly. It's a costly investment, but it's worth it in the end. A little bit of a counter-attack, not really going to work out at all. Picks up there as well. That one siege tank needs to help out those SCVs.
Well, that's a nice little counter by Happy.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it yet because he hasn't pushed MMA off this 3rd, and he will keep scanning. He's got position on his opponent's gas, so it's now 6 gas versus 5 in favor of MMA.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and this is beautiful. Holding the position on the right to then come drop inside the main?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
He's going to lose quite a few workers here, especially since he's actually not pulling away at all. He hasn't exactly realized that this is going on.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Happy's
MMA's got such a hold on this tournament, this qualifier.
Yeah, he's doing really well. This is, I mean, the siege tank count for Happy on this right-hand side is actually built up quite nicely. But again, if you're losing workers in the main and everything, what do? There's not a whole lot. He's taken bases behind this. There was a counter-attack by Happy, which, ow. Okay, that killed quite a few workers.
Yeah, it killed a lot, but he's still dropping more and more in supply because he's not been able to mine properly. And you can start to really tell the difference in supply at the top, 160 to 140.
Yeah, army supply is slowly scaling out of control here for Happy to really keep up, unfortunately, for him. And +2 weapons behind the set for MMA starts. Happy doesn't even have +1 yet on his siege tanks or anything like that.
4th command center. We'll probably see MMA look for extra factories soon. I mean, he could get lazy and not add them on, but this is the perfect time to be adding on 3 extra factories. Because with a 4th command center as well, it's just ideal. But he may just smell the win so easily and not bother.
Oh, here comes the drop from Happy, though, trying to bust out of this location. And it will be able to bust out in the end because he has so much firepower behind this. But the reinforcements coming down from MMA, I don't think he can continue on with that.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice breakout. MMA a little bit behind with his reinforcements.
Gonna try once again is Happy to bust through the entirety of this army. A nice drop on this left-hand side of the siege tanks, but the tanks for MMA are holding on strong, along with all the Hellbats that could come through as well.
And now he takes his position back on that 3rd.
Yeah.
And this is almost, you know, game over. You can't lose this position again.
Yeah. Siege tanks at the back doing a bit of work on these Hellbats that move forwards as well, but they just die too slowly for him to really shut down. With more reinforcements coming from MMA, he's played this CVT out great.
Yeah. MMA's on fire today. Really is.
Yeah, there you go.
Looking great today.
GG. MMA moves on to the winners final, which is very important because if he wins that, he gets a spot at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Yes, he does. So just one more game for MMA and he's through. Really, really played out well today. And unfortunately for Happy, he now drops down into that lower bracket with a lot of the other players that I mentioned at the start of that game, MC and Co. And it's not going to be easy for Happy to get qualification now. The best way for him would have been able to continue his winning streak here, because down in the lower bracket, it's going to be tough.
Yes, it is. All right, guys, join us after the break when we'll have more StarCraft action here from the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers.